Alright, so hopefully you have been able to put in all of your bridging and your annotations. New ones that we have here that we haven't seen before are F1, F2, footing 1, footing 2, DB1, so door beam 1. You can also have it as a header beam. I've put in fly bracing here. Obviously I haven't put in the actual connections. These will be specified to you by the design engineer. And in any project brief that we give you, and same with the bridging. Okay, so you'll need to do this for your west elevation as well as your east, so please don't forget that. For your east, remember at your apex, shift your viewport so you don't see the whole thing, you just see the actual front face. But yeah, please make sure you do complete your east elevation as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a schedule. Okay, I'm just going to delete this one here. So right click, new schedule, or from view, you can do it here as well. So new schedule, our first one is a structural column. Structural columns, go OK. And now, previously we've looked at cost and count, and cut length and things like that. For this, we aren't looking at that. We want the descriptions. We will look at that when we look at our material takeoff. So to start off with, I want the mark. Okay, that's the mark that I've been specifying for everything. After the mark, I want the type. Okay, and then after the type, I want the description. Cool. Go okay. So this is what I get. Mark, type, description. Alright, it's not very useful at the moment. It's not really telling me a whole lot of information. But what I'm going to do is if I come to my 3D, now if you've used the structural tags the whole way through, you probably won't have this issue. But because I've typed a lot in using text, I have to put in these marks now. So if I pick a column, select all of them, my mark for these is C1. C1, apply. Alright, these ones here, mark is C2. Okay, apply. Now these beams here, all of them are my DB1. Okay, just make sure all of my rafters are tagged with R1. Cool. And I'll just tag these footings as well whilst I'm here. So all of my little footings, F2, my bigger footings, F1. Awesome. Cool. And then I'll just also double check these. So we're going to get a bit tricky when we come to our purlins and girts, because obviously our purlins and girts are the same material. So you can't just select them all. We're going to have to actually separate them. Okay. So I'll show you guys how to do that after when we look at our structural framing elements. So structural columns. So now I have my marks and then my type, and then I can put in a description as well. Okay, so I can type in whatever I want. In addition to that, we can also put in comments and fill in the comments, the comments section. So here I can also put comments in here. And if I'm using comments instead of description, I'll have whatever I've typed in appear there. And the other thing that you'll often see on plans, as opposed to description, you'll see remark, but it's the same thing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to change some of these. So sort by mark, ascending. I don't want to itemize every instance. Okay, there's no point telling me the same column is the same thing the whole way. It's really useless. Formatting, any appearance. I want to keep those headers. Okay, cool. And now what I'm going to do is just change this here. Arial black. And I'm going to keep this bold, and I'll keep it the same. I'll just change it to 3.5, so slightly bigger, but not a whole lot. Awesome. So there's one of them done. Now the next one that I want to do is my structural framing elements. So right click, new schedule, and what I'm after is structural framing. Go OK. Now here I want the same thing, my mark, my type, and my description. So mark, type, and my description is here. Go OK. I get a big list. Okay, of everything that we've got there. So here's where the kind of tricky part starts, but we have to now separate these here. All these C219, they are our purlins and our gerts. So let's have a crack and see how we go about altering them. So just close some of these tabs here. I want to come back to my 3D. So what I can try and do is if I can come to a side, okay, I know from here is all my roof purlins and here down is all my gerts. So if I take from left to right through here, check none, see if I can grab my joists. Hoping they will show the same. Yep. Change the mark here. These here are our gerts. G1. Apply. Okay. Cool. Let's have a look at our framing schedule. Cool. They're showing up now. Now what I'm really hoping is all of these are our roof. If I miss one, we're going to have to go hunting. So let's try from here to here. Filter out, check none, joists, okay. These should all be our purlins. Okay, so mark PL1. Our gerts you can also have as GR if you would like. It's up to you. Apply. Now I'm really hoping that this is all going to be completed. How good's that? Alright, so that's all worked really well. I'm happy with that. Sorting and grouping. Sort by mark, ascending. Okay, it doesn't have to be, you can change these up. And sorry, the other thing I want to do is untick our itemize every instance. I don't want to see everyone. I want to shrink them into the one, just like that. Alright. Now remember we had a description here for our purlins and for our gerts. Alright. Now our purlins is a purlin, all in capital, sorry. Purlin 200, sorry, it's a C219. And these are at 1200 centers maximum. And we have, I think it was 2 M16 bolts. with an 8mm cleat, 8mm cleat plate, and we have 3 rows of bridging. Okay. Cool. So I'm hoping that description comes across. It hasn't. It's not very nice. Okay, I might alter that back to be comments. Yeah, just make my life a bit easier. So what I can do is change my fields. I'll come back and do comments. Okay, and now these comments will be a bit nicer. Oh, back to Revit. If I look at my, I'll come back to my 3D. I'll select these again, joist, PR1. I can put the comments in here. So which are my purlins? C219 at 1200 centers max. With 2 M16 bolts, 8mm cleat plate, and 3 rows of bridging. Apply. So that should update in here. Okay. And I'll do the same for my girts. Make sure you're saving, please, don't forget, because we've covered a fair bit of work. So now all of our girts, check none. These are our structural joists. Okay, should all show G1. Again, the comment for our girts, obviously girts, C219. Remember our spacing of our girts were 1000 millimeters. 1000 centers max. We have the same thing here. We have a 2 M16 bolts, an 8mm cleat plate, and again we have 3 rows of bridging. Apply. Really hope it's going to come back. It's chosen not to. I really don't want to type that in again. I wonder if it'll let me just alter this here to be girts. Okay, 1000 centers. Apply. So we change our girts. That looks a bit better. And any other comments for anything, but for ours, I don't think that there is for now. All right, so let's go through and put our sheets together. So sheets, I'm just going to delete this one here. So right click, new sheet. I'm going to take an A1 metric. And on our first sheet, okay, you guys should remember how to fill out these details here. But on our first sheet, this is going to be our roof framing layout and our general notes. So remember, we just click we drag across. Now, as you guys should remember how to tidy this up, if I come back into my roof framing layout, properties, crop region, apply, and now what I'm looking at is my crop region. So just drag these in now. Again, just tidying it all up. Okay, this will make it just fit on our onto our sheet a bit nicer. Okay. So once we've done that, the next thing that we need to do is we untick the visibility of our crop region. And then from there, if I come back to my sheet, this should start to look a bit better. All right. Oops, sorry, I have to go back and just redo that one. So let's come back to here. Start this crop region again, the annotation crop. By the looks of it, these are sitting outside of it. That's better. So to cut them out, make it all look a bit tidier. And I'll just move this last one up, and again, under the center of it, come back to my sheet, and it's a bit better. Okay. Now this down here, tidy it all up. Okay. And our general notes, we can start to drag across here as well. I might put that in the next video.